What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online Jamily? This, of course, here's JamiroFan 2000 with another episode of JamiroFan Talks About. For the uninitiated, this has been my recurring discussion series here on my YouTube channel, looking at everything about Jamiroquai and the band members of Jamiroquai from the past, present, and future of Jamiroquai and their over 30 years of music making. In this episode, I'm going to be looking at some very interesting takeaways that recently came out of a recent Instagram, or should I say Insta-Stories fan Q&A that Jamiroquai's own keyboardist Matt Johnson did over on his respective Instagram account. And some of these little nuggets of information that came out of this interview were very, very interesting. The first takeaway from this interview, which was done of course, on Insta Stories, and it was basically a bunch of captioned pictures with a question posed by the fans and Matt Johnson's answers, was there's so far no update on album 9 of Jamiroquai, which of course would be the go-to question for any fan in this online Q&A, because we all know that Jamiroquai, Jay has said repeatedly, and many band members of Jamiroquai said repeatedly, they're currently working on the ninth Jamiroquai album, which will hopefully optimistically have some type of release sometime in 2023 and 2024, optimistically. So we don't know about that. The second major takeaway was a very interesting little anecdote about a fan posing a question about what is the most funky Jamiroquai song that he likes to perform. Back during Rocked Us Lightstar, some members of the Jam probably saw the two-part making of Rocked Us Lightstar documentary that was put up on YouTube by various uploaders and, of course, the official Jamiroquai YouTube account. Well, if you remember, for people with hawk eyes who remember I believe the part 2 of that documentary, they might remember that there were two songs. There was a whiteboard in the studio of them writing down all the prospective song titles that were of consideration for potential inclusion in Rocked Us Lightstar. One of which was, of course, Superhighway, which was actually performed in that said documentary, but never made it into a recorded version onto Rocked Us Lightstar. But then there was another song called Your Window is a Crazy Television, which was written down, but nothing ever came of it. But Matt Johnson just so happened to say, coincidentally, in this question pose, that he thinks that is the most funky song, his favorite funky song to perform with Jamiroquai. So that confirms that song was not just a written song on a whiteboard, it was actually a real song. Now, I might ask Matt Johnson on social media in the future for a little more information about that song, but very, very interesting tidbit about that. And the third major takeaway from this interview with Matt Johnson on his Insta Stories fan Q&A was he's planning on brand new music coming out very soon. Now, we know he's going to be working on a second solo album coming out here sometime in the mid-distant future, probably into the year 2023. But very, very cool to see Matt Johnson. He plans on doing some more brand new music with some of the band members of Jamiroquai, and of course, in his solo sense, maybe some of his inner space material. But that Q&A, like I said, was put up on his Insta Stories, and I was smart enough to save all the pictures from that Insta Stories fan Q&A from March 19th of 2020 onto my Imgur. So for members of the Jamily who would like to check out that Insta Stories Q&A for themselves with all the questions and all the answers to all the questions, I'll be sure to put a link to that Imgur album with all of those pictures from that Insta Stories Q&A with Matt Johnson of Jamiroquai from his Instagram account in the description of this video down below. So be sure to check that out in your own time. And also, additionally, as I said about that mysterious secondary song for Rocked Us Lightstar, which Matt Johnson alluded to in his interview, I will ask him sometime on my social media when I've got the time for more information about that song, about how that song turned out. So, very interesting to see Matt Johnson confirm that secondary song from Rocked Us Lightstar actually existing. But massive thank you to Matt Johnson for a great Q&A on his Insta Stories over on his respective Instagram account. So be sure to check that out when you can down in the description area of this video down below. And as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. I hope you enjoyed this episode of JamiroFan Talks About. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to ding the bell on your YouTube to stay up to date on all the latest new content coming from the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. I'll hopefully have some more content coming up as we roll into April of 2022, and there is going to be some stuff coming in hopefully April 2022, and I will tell you about it when the time is appropriate. That's all I can say for right now. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. Thank you again, everybody, for the support, and I'll see you again really soon with much more Jamiroquai-related content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody, and take care.